Leviticus.
Do you know, Ruby, what the Book of Leviticus says?
And God tells us our duty in Leviticus.
Let's dive into an intriguing question. Who actually wrote the Book of Leviticus? On the surface, it might seem like a straightforward answer. But trust me, it's a topic full of twists and turns. So, let's take a closer look together. The traditional view says that Yeshua's ancestor, Moses, wrote down the Book of Leviticus based on God's direct instructions to him, somewhere around 3,400 to 3,500 years ago. Pretty clear cut, right? But hold on. This is where scholars jump in with a different take. Most scholars believe that Leviticus didn't come together in its final form until much later, during the Persian period, roughly between 538 and 332 BC. That's way after Moses' time. Some even think it started to take shape during the Babylonian exile, around the 6th or 5th century BC. And here's where it gets even more complicated. While many agree on the Persian period as the final edit stage, they also think the book had a long history of growth before that. Now, Leviticus isn't just a random collection of rules. It's a carefully structured book with two main parts. 1. The priestly code, chapters 1 through 16, and 2. The holiness code, chapters 17 through 26. These sections didn't pop up overnight. Most scholars think they were shaped by two different but related priestly schools. The priestly code is more focused on rituals, how sacrifices should be done, and who can approach God, and so on. But then comes the holiness code, which takes things a step further. It shifts the focus from rituals to a bigger picture, how Israel's relationship with God should look, both theologically and morally. It's like a blueprint for becoming holy as a people, not just as individuals. Here's where the fun debate begins. Who was Leviticus for? Traditionally, it's believed that these laws were given to all the Israelites after they escaped from Egypt. God instructed Moses to share these commands with everyone, making them a holy nation. But modern scholars like James Watts suggest that Leviticus was actually written with worshippers at the Jerusalem and Samaria temples in mind. It wasn't just a handbook for priests, but for anyone who came to worship. That perspective lines up with parts of the book that address all of Israel, like when Moses is told to say, "These are the creatures which you may eat from all of the animals on the earth." On the other hand, some argue that these laws were originally intended just for priests. Dr. Robert Noose, for example, compares Leviticus to the Hindu code of Manu Smriti, which was written for Brahmin priests. According to this view, these rules were priest-specific at first, but later got applied to everyone during the Babylonian exile. Why the shift from priestly laws to a broader application? Dr. Gnus and others suggest it was about maintaining identity. When the Jewish people were living in Babylon, surrounded by non-Jewish cultures, these laws helped set them apart. By following these rules about food, clothing, and ritual purity, they could preserve their unique identity as God's chosen people. Some even see this as a turning point, where the Jewish people began to see themselves as kingdom priests. If they were all priests in a figurative sense, that would make the Gentiles the lay people in the new, larger temple of God, which was the whole world. So, who wrote Leviticus? Honestly, it's hard to say for sure. Tradition points to Moses, while scholarship sees it as the product of centuries of priestly thought, shaped and edited over time. What's clear, though, is its purpose: to draw the Israelites closer to God and set them apart as His holy people. And here's what's amazing. While we might not know the exact timeline or authors, the message of Leviticus still speaks to us today. It reminds us of God's call to holiness, not just through rituals, but in every part of our lives. For believers, this call resonates as we seek to walk in Yeshua's teachings, living lives that reflect God's love, justice, and holiness. Thanks for joining me on this little exploration. I hope it sparks some curiosity and maybe even a deeper appreciation for the Book of Leviticus. Till next time, Shalom, Shalom.